Hi everybody, welcome back to part 12, painting the plums in watercolour. So what thought I'd do is, whilst we're waiting for that paint to dry, and I might not even wait for that to dry, I might go to another example, I'll just see how I go. But I thought we'd do some work on the little stem. So what I've done is I've got my sort of slightly orangey brown mix, which was it was Indian yellow and some quin red. So we got a nice little orange. And then I added just a tad of ultramarine green shade to make it just take off the brightness a little bit, just dull it down a tad. Now what I've done is I've added a bit more ultramarine green shade to this mix, and it's really browned it up. And I don't know if you remember back in primary school days when you're playing around with colours and stuff, but if you mixed all your colours together you'd get this murky browny mess. Well, that's kind of what we're doing here, just with the three primary colours, a red, a yellow and a blue. And so when you add blue to orange, it does tend to go a little bit browner. And so if I just do a bit here, that's a little bit of ultramarine green shade. See how it's starting to change? Now, if you've got quin gold, you could do the quin gold with the quin red, same thing, but you're just substituting the quin gold for the Indian yellow, and add a little bit of blue and see what you get. So that's the colour that I'm going to go with. So if I get a bit of paper, see, that's the colour. It's sort of still warm, but it's looking a bit darker than it did before. Okay. And what I'm doing is I've got a zero brush, zero size. So the tip is getting smaller because the subject, or what we're painting, is really a lot smaller. So you could use a 0 or a 000 brush. And what we're referring to is this little thing, which looks like a little poo. And we're just going to, there's a little bit of a lighter area there. So we're just going to try and add some more paint down the right side and just a little bit on the left to hopefully create some sort of a little stem, which doesn't look like a little poo. All right, now I've got the digital file in front of me on my screen, and I'm also going to blow it up. And now, if you've got that capacity, I would recommend that because it does help. Now, I'm not wetting the paper. This is, the brush has got paint on it, and I'm just coming in. So that's probably a little bit too strong in terms of where I was going to go with that colour. But so I've just removed the paint, and with a damp brush I'm just softening it. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, so let's water down that paint a little bit more. So I'm just adding a bit of water. You can't see it on screen, but, and then I'm coming back again, second attempt. I'm just doing some little bit of brush work. So in effect, what I'm doing is I'm drawing with the brush. And look, I wouldn't call this dry brush work in the strictest sense because the paint is quite watered down, but So it's, yeah, it's quite wet. Oh, it does look more like a poo, but anyway, you can only work with what you've got. So I'm just picking up a bit more paint, and this time I've kept the brush drier. So what I mean by that is, if I practice here on a bit of paint on the side, and I just do some nice fine lines, okay, you can see that there's not, you know, so much water there that it's going to get all, you know, we're able to control the what goes onto the paper a bit. Okay, so I'm just coming in here. It's a bit darker down here, and that's okay. And then we've got this little bit over here. And then there's this sort of dark under here. So I am using a magnifying glass, and we want to keep this sort of band-like sort of thing going on. And what else? I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's easy to overwork these things, but that's all I'm going to do for now. So I've done a little bit more on the stem. I am going to have a little go a bit more. I want to get this. There. Yeah. Okay. All right, ski. I'm going to stop fiddling now and end this, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.